We've got some representatives and members from NYSCOPBA that made the trip down here to Albany today, and I'd like to take this opportunity to ask and introduce President Mike Powers to offer a few words and their observations. Mike, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. A little stuffy in here today.
It is.
A lot of hot air downstairs, eh? At any rate, thank you, Senator Steck, for the introduction, Assemblyman Simpson, Leader Ort, and the conference, and everybody here that recognizes the inherent dangers of HALT and the recent implementation of it. It's really done nothing to improve the lives of the incarcerated individuals or the civilian or security staff in these facilities. And we've been very vocal about that in the previous years, addressing this to the legislature that we're promoting this bill. And we invited them, quite frankly, into the facilities, as Senator Steck and many behind me have entered into our correctional facilities and see the real value that we bring to it and the real programs that the department brings forward. You know, it severely limits our ability to maintain order in a significantly more violent atmosphere that we've dealt with in the past. And that comes with dangers to not just security staff, but to the incarcerated individuals as well. As many have mentioned, I'm going to share some stats with you as well, but going forward, since the implementation of HALT in April, you know, we've seen vicious attacks on security staff. We had a very vicious, unprovoked attack on a correction officer in central New York over an individual who recently came out of the HALT program, was transferred to another facility. Within hours of his transfer into this facility, unprovoked, slashed an officer across the face, leaving him completely, for the rest of his life, scarred, not just physically, but mentally. Shortly thereafter, just last week, we have an active investigation with the state police and BCI at a correctional facility up north between two incarcerated individuals, where a vicious attack upon one and the other, and I mean vicious, created the death of an individual. We've been warning about these warning signs and these signals since HALT first started to make its way through the Assembly years ago. So those are some of the things that we're talking about when we're going forward. And these are the mechanisms that are not in place. There's no true deterrent. And I'll use an analogy that I continually use. It's no different than society, taking somebody, a violent offender in society, and removing them from society to maintain a safe society. It's the same concept inside our prisons and walls and our fences. It's the very same concept. It keeps the rehabilitation model moving, and it keeps the individuals that want to go through the rehabilitation program to become productive members of their society. A couple additional stats I want to share with you. You know, since the HALT enactment in April, prior years we've averaged 190 incidents in a month. And I'm talking in the last 6 years on the average, prior to April 1, 190 violent acts in our correctional facilities. The month of April brought 260 severe violent attacks. And we're not talking about pushing somebody to the ground or anything of that nature. We're talking about real, hard, vicious attacks on individuals, incarcerated individuals, and security staff. Ignoring violence doesn't make it go away. And we'll continue to impress upon the legislature to repeal HALT. This legislature needs to repeal HALT immediately. And we thank Senator Steck and the Republican conference in both houses in pushing to get this done, to maintain safety for all in the correctional setting. Thank you.